Hello everyone, I am Dharani, working at ENH iSecure as a senior IAM engineer. In this presentation, let's discuss about SailPoint Identity Now event triggers and followed by a demo. So the agenda is introduction to event triggers, types of event triggers, and followed with a demo with each example of types of the event triggers. Before proceeding with the demo, let's have a quick look on what is event triggers and how Identity Now support to integrate it. Event Triggers is an extensibility feature released by SailPoint which enables us to integrate Identity Now with third-party applications. In SailPoint, any action is performed like account creation, account aggregation, source creation, source deletion, which are called as an events. Based on these events, we can perform any action called event trigger. Based on the different events, SailPoint provides the different event triggers to perform action in Identity Now. In SailPoint tenant, we can see the available event triggers and based on the customer requirement, we can subscribe to the particular event trigger which we want to require. In the upcoming slide, I will explain about the types of event triggers. In this slide, let's discuss on types of event triggers. As you see here, there are two types of event triggers. One is response required and other is fire and forget. Let's have a detailed demo on response required and fire and forget event triggers with a suitable example. Let's have a demo on how to configure event triggers. For first, you need to log into your SailPoint Identity Now tenant. So for now, I have logged into our partner tenant. As you see here, this is the home page. To configure the event triggers, you need to navigate to Admin tab. Under Admin tab, you can find the Event Triggers tab. So these are the available event triggers in the SailPoint Identity Now tenant, which has both fire and forget and response required event trigger types. So if you subscribe to any of the event trigger from available event triggers, you can see that in the subscriptions. And if you want to view any of the active subscription in your organization, you can view it in the activity log tab. Let's subscribe to one of the available event trigger and have a look of how the subscription process will works. You need to provide a suitable subscription name which describes the purpose of this subscription. And under subscription type, you can choose HTTP and Amazon Event Bridge as per your customer requirement. So as of now, I am choosing the HTTP subscription type. And for integration URL, in the real-time use case, you need to provide the endpoint URL of the third-party applications provided by your customer team. For now, I am using the webhook site, which is a test third-party application. And for the authentication type, you can choose none or basic auth or bearer token as per your requirement. So for now, I'm using the none because I'm using the test webhook site for the integration type. And filter field is used to separate the required information or data that you want to trigger by this event trigger. Let's enable this event trigger and save it. You can see the pop-up that this you have subscribed to the particular event trigger. Now let's see that event trigger in the subscription list. As you can see here, this is the attribute identity attributes changed event trigger that I have subscribed. Under the actions, if you want to edit, you can click on edit and You can edit whatever you want, like you if you want to modify the filter or the integration URL, you can do it from edit tab. And if you want to delete this particular event trigger permanently, you can delete from the delete tab. And if you want to view only particular logs of this event trigger, then you can see here from the view activity log. Now I am doing the test subscription to check how the metadata of this identity attributes changed event trigger works. It will ask for a pop-up to confirm and send test. Let's check it in the webhook site. As you see here, this is the metadata for the identity attributes changed, and it mentions the trigger type, that is fire and forget, and it's mentioning the attribute name with old value and new value. So this is about the fire and forget event trigger type. Now let's have a look on how a response required event trigger works. I'm choosing access request submitted event trigger that is available in the SailPoint Identity Now tenant, and this event trigger type is response required. Let's subscribe to this event trigger. You need to give a proper and suitable name which describes your purpose of this event trigger. And you have the subscription types, that is HTTP and Amazon Event Bridge. You can choose as your wish as per your customer requirement. As of now I'm using HTTP. And in the integration URL, you need to give the endpoint URL of the third party system which is provided by your customer team. Now I'm using the webhook, a third party test application which is used for a test triggers. And in the response type, there are synchronous, asynchronous, and specified by integration response types. You need to choose your response type as per your customer requirement. For now, I'm using the synchronous response type. And for the synchronous response type, the default response deadline is ISO 8601 duration. And the authentication types have none, basic auth, or bearer token. You need to choose the authentication type based on your customer requirement. If you choose the basic auth, please give the required credentials, and if you choose the bearer token, please enter the bearer token over there. For now I am choosing none as my authentication type. As I mentioned earlier, the filter field is used to build a filter which is required to gather the only required data which you want from this trigger. Now let's enable this event trigger and save it. Once you save it, you will receive a pop-up that you have subscribed to a particular event trigger. Let's see the subscribed event trigger in the subscriptions list. As you see here, this is the event trigger that I have subscribed. Let's see how the metadata of this event trigger have. I'm doing the test subscription. Once you do the test subscription, you will receive a pop-up that you have completed a test subscription. As you see here, a new log is came up in the webhook third-party application, and this is how the metadata of the response required event trigger looks. And this is about this demo. If you have any queries, please drop your questions in the comment box. Thank you. If you have any questions, please drop your questions in the comment box. Please follow our socials for more technical updates. Thank you.